For those of you who do not know who I am NyLainah DeNee. I am an emerging artist. And just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in OKC. I know some of y'all know where that is. We just won the championship.
Where?
Oh, come on. OKC, Oklahoma City. Oh, there we go. We got somebody in the house that knows. So I'm from Oklahoma City. Born and raised, native. And there I also received my bachelor's degree in fine arts with the emphasis in sculpture. Did do a little bit of printmaking in my undergrad and also did a little mix of jewelry and everything. And where that transpired to was sculpture and printmaking becoming a therapy to me. During my undergrad, I went through a time where I had to learn how to self-love again, learning how to love myself all over again just through some traumatic experiences that I went through, where the justice system failed me, where I felt like I didn't have a voice. And so what I found through sculpture and through printmaking was my voice, finding a platform to display the voices of the marginalized and unheard. So a lot of the work that you see here, these are works that I did recently. I'm now getting my master's degree from Savannah College of Arts and Design. So if you're wondering why I'm here, that's how I got here. I was able to do a lot in Oklahoma City before moving here to Atlanta. I was able to display in multiple galleries, including Black Wall Street Gallery, now known as Greenwood District, where I am represented there. So if you ever visit Tulsa, Oklahoma, make sure you stop by. You'll see a little bit of my artwork. I've also shown in the Paseo, which is a huge art district in Oklahoma. And before I moved here, I also created history by being the youngest Black female sculptor to exhibit solo in Oklahoma in 2022. So now I'm here, ready to make some more history. A lot of my work now deals with the Black experience and the Black culture, and getting to make sure that the truth is put out in the forefront about our history, because it deserves to be known. It deserves to be told. Our children deserve to learn about that history. So does our children's children, and therefore. And so I just wanted to create a space for that. And not only for just my voice, but those that are a part of my village, those that are been a part of my community that have poured into me. And I want to make sure that I pour back into what preserves me. So here are a few prints that I've done. I've had experience of just grateful to be able to do multiple mediums. I got to do a lino cut, and to be honest with you, my favorite is doing Italio printmaking, which is where you're carving into copper plates and doing a process called etching, where once you carve into it or scratch the surface, you put it in acid, and that erodes where you have made that plate vulnerable. And then you go through the whole inking process and going it through the ink press and all of that. And it's so therapeutic to me because it's kind of similar to sculpture. And my love language is physical touch. So anything that I can mold, create, sculpt in the palm of my hands is just something that you're like, okay, NyLainah, like, you gotta eat, girl. It's time to, go to sleep. You gotta do that at some point. But those are my favorite things to do. And here are some of the works that show for it. And just to talk a little bit about what they have on display right here, which is available for sale. This one right here is a self-portrait. And I call it, what did I call it? Flower Child, thank you. I'm a little nervous, so bear with me, I'm sorry, y'all. And when I created this piece, it was based off of a self-portrait photo shoot that I did of myself. again during that learning how to love myself phase. And I wanted to put like a lot of floral into it because for me, flowers represent hope, and where flowers bloom, they're flourishing, and there's faith in that. And there's faith in that whole process. And so that was one of the things that this is a reminder for me of, and just remembering that, and remembering how God created me to be beautifully and wonderfully made. Then another one that I did was called Veils of Serenity, and this is one of those block lino cuts that I did. Again, I'll probably do that if I'm mad with that process, but it was very fun actually to do. And this is also based off of another photograph of myself where I was taking pictures with my sculpture, and the funny thing was that I didn't even mean to make the face that I have on display right now. The camera wasn't doing what I was wanting it to do, so the frustration showed through. But when looking at it again and like through the edits, it seemed like there was a story there. And in that moment, like even though like I was frustrated, I was also happy because it was like one of the last few shots that I had to do. I'm like, okay, we're wrapping it up. So to me, it spoke of just different processes of serenity and getting to that. And then this one right here, I call it agape. Just referencing back to agape love, where it's unconditional, and where when it's unconditional, genuine love, how we can, it's a reminder of how we can love one another without any hidden agendas, and how beautifully and organically we can grow. And so I just wanted to represent that in my artwork. And that is all that I have to share with you guys, but I do want to open up the floor if you guys have any questions or any comments about any of the work that I do. And also, I do want to make it known that you can find me on all social media platforms at Sculpted for Greatness. On Instagram, it's with the number 4. That is also my website as well, where you can keep up with me and all the events that I have going on and speaking engagements. I also wanted to let you all know that I do have a thesis show coming up, which is crazy because I will be making history yet again here, being the last M.F.A. sculpture candidate that SCAD will have. After me, there will be no more of the sculpture department. So guess what we gotta do? Go out with a bang. So if you would like to know more information, again, please do follow me on social media platforms or at my website at Sculpted for Greatness. My thesis show will be in February, hosted during Black History Month. And it is not only going to be full of sculpture and mixed media, but it'll also be an experience. One thing that I did want to initiate is making sure that everyone has the opportunity to not only just view things in the physicality, but also to experience as well. So it'll be an immersive experience for you guys too. Thank you.
Sculpture on display? I was just wondering if you had any of your sculpture on display here.
So here at Black Art in America, I don't have any sculpture on display. I just have my ink prints. Yes, and there is also some more too. So it's not just these 3 that I have here, but there's also some more prints that I've done as well. And I did see your hand raised in the back. Oh. Hello.
So I wanted to know, I'm not sure how long you've been here in Georgia. I'm fairly new here in Georgia. So as an artist, did you feel like there was a space where you had to kind of re-lock in, refocus? When you got here, did you feel like out of sorts? Like, what did it take you to get back like in your master's? What? That's crazy.
Girl, tell me about it.
Like a holy place.
Right.
Like setting yourself and getting back to that.
So So I've been here in Georgia for now 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in March. And so I will say what made it easy, well, I wouldn't say easy because it ain't easy. We went 153 miles away, but what made it more, I'll say, peaceful is that I did have family here already on my mom's side. And so they were able to like welcome me in, and then also having the blessings of staying in a house that is family owned. But also too, how I came to choosing SCAD. It's so funny because I originally wanted to go to SCAD for my undergrad, but it didn't work out that way. And it ended up being more of a better opportunity for me to go for my master's degree. And then come to find out, as soon as I got enrolled, they're like, hey, we need to talk to you for a second. Oh yeah, so we're cutting your program. So you're gonna be the last one out of here. I'm like, okay, so I guess I got here on time. But creating like a space for my work, I will say when I first got here, I was a little intimidated because just seeing all the beautiful work of already Black established artists and it being heavily saturated in the Black experience, I had to also remind myself how even though like they have their own platform, I have my own reasonings and my purpose and what I know that I need to do. And I know that with these gifts that God gave me, that there is something that can be shared to anyone that will be able to receive whatever I have to give. I just have to give it.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, just a question. As an educator, I'm interested in knowing when you were in middle school and high school, like who were your influences, and were there any teachers that were supporting you in your craft and your creativity?
Oh, absolutely. So I had the privilege of having a village that saw my gifts at a very young age. And what I used to do was I had Bratz dolls and I had Barbie dolls, but I would probably pop their heads off and their feet and then leave them alone. And I would take the used foil off of my grandmother's leftover foods and I would create like these little figurines and then find like toilet paper or pick off her leaves, which she hated, and use that as like the clothing items for my little figures, and find shoe boxes to make houses and stuff out of. And what I appreciate is that instead of like my grandmother and my aunt and my parents looking at it as like, why is my baby playing with trash? They were like, oh, she is getting into recycled material. And then my aunt put a name on it. She was like, she's into found art and y'all need to put her in classes. So they started putting me in classes at a very young age, and I got the experience of actually taking a printmaking class at the young age of 8 and doing a sculpture class with ceramics. And so from there I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this. And then they ended up putting me in a middle school and high school that was catered to the arts. So I was able to get more experience into that. Also taking trips to like different museums and learning about and seeing in person the paintings and the different periods of those paintings and sculptures that I learned about in art history or through the PowerPoints. And that was a whole nother experience. Like just being able to see that in person is way different than just talking about it. So I was grateful for that. And I did have an elementary teacher that put me into competitions where I did win a few, which was really great. And that's what also opened up doors for me getting into the middle school and high school that I went to. And then in high school, my art teacher then, she had the opportunity to actually teach us things that was very more far advanced than what other high schools would teach in art. So I was able to get those opportunities and experiences. And then also she was able to get recruiters down from different art schools to come and talk about it. And actually SCAD was one of those. And at the time, I'm like, what is SCAD? And then they talking about they in Atlanta. What am I gonna do there? I'm in Oklahoma. And Lord and behold, who knew I would have ended up here. So yeah.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is your favorite artist and why?
So I actually have several favorite artists. One I would have to say is Kara Walker. If you guys are not familiar with her, she speaks a lot about the hauntologies and the sordid antebellum South history in her big old huge wall black paper cut silhouettes. She was actually shown at the High Museum as well a few years back. I want to say in 2019 maybe, or like right before COVID or right when COVID happened. But the reasoning why she is such a huge influence on me is because she is unapologetically herself, and she will unapologetically tell what needs to be told, whether it's going to be grotesque, whether it's going to be something uncomfortable, but she is creating a space where she is able to present that, and we get to learn from that experience and get something to take away that we can also implement into other generations and other people that we know that don't know. And the more we know, the more we don't know. And then she also had this sculpture piece that she did called the Sugar Baby. It's a long actually sentence of a name, but for short, the Sugar Baby. Where she talked about like the mammy and how the mammy is sexualized, how and used to carry the children and the bosoms and all of that, and just bringing that awareness to that and having people spark conversation about it. And the more you talk about it, the more it spreads. And so she's a really big, huge influence in my work when it comes to like getting those messages out of there. I look in reference to her a lot. Another person that I do is also Kehinde Wiley, who is also a famous painter with his intricate and elaborate paintings. And what I really love about his paintings is that he talks about brown and black bodies in this majestic and very elaborate way with all this intricate detail. And so that's how I want to put myself and those who represent me on a pedestal. But yeah, absolutely. And anybody else have any comments or questions? Yes, hi Greg!
When you create, do you, for the most part, have like a sense of, oh, I need to make a collective body of work, or do you like to experiment with each piece in some type of way, and why?
Oh, I should have known you was coming with this. So, when it comes to making body of work, I really don't have like at first it's never really like a set, like, okay, I need to make X, Y, and Z of these amount of whatever pieces. It's always like, okay, it is very much so an experimental process. A lot of the times, like, I'm creating from experience, so whatever has impacted me at that time that I feel like needs to be put on a canvas or needs to be on a print or needs to be constructed into a sculpture, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not gonna sleep until I do it and until it's done. And a lot of the time when it comes to experimenting, it's all about, number one, what type of media is gonna deliver the message? And then number two, what's gonna work for me in my time frame? But that's a lot of how I produce the work that I do. And then once I create what I need to create, then I'm going in and finding a connection between what needs to be shown together and what doesn't need to be, because everything that I make is not all shown. Some things are just made to be made in that moment. Maybe it was something that I needed to go through to learn from and implement into another project and redo that project again. And some of the stuff that I create is like, okay, we hit the nail on the head and this needs to go up like right now. Absolutely.
Question for you. A lot of folks here are not familiar with Oklahoma City.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Only two black people.
Yes, my brother.
But tell me, so what's your feeling on the paseo? Since a lot of people don't know about the paseo, I go
Yes.
there to eat often.
Okay.
And tell me what your thoughts about the paseo and if it influenced you in any way.
Got you. So what he's talking about is the Paseo Arts District, which I kind of mentioned a little bit about earlier. And it is an arts district that's located in Oklahoma City. And so Oklahoma City is not that big. So the area is also not that big. It's literally like a street or two. But filled with like restaurants that are catered to the arts. A lot of galleries are there as well to show, and then they also have like a lot of performances happening too, with like live performance, singing, poetry, live painting as well, which I do sometimes. And my take on that, I feel like it's growing, and I feel like it could be more. I feel like they could also make let me choose this carefully. They can definitely create a pathway for local artists, because I feel like they reach more out to nationally, and there's a lot of artists that come there to show that are not from Oklahoma, and I feel like Oklahoma is really overshadowed when it comes to the artistry there. There are a lot of great artists that I know of, and some that I don't know of as much, but need that space, and they deserve that space, but they're being overlooked because here's this big name that wanted to come through for a week or so. So I do wish that they would make more opportunity for the local artists, but I will say that it is growing. It is growing.
Hi. So considering that there are programs being cut,
Yeah.
money can sometimes be short, but if you had your wish your way in the current situation we're in, how would you say that's going to support the kind of support that you got from the work? And that's awesome that they took you to all these places and gave you all that opportunity. But I'm really worried about today's students and classes that, music and art.
And it's sad. I hate to see that happening, because again, like, I got my experiences very young, and that cultivated a direction for me to head into. And I feel like there are already so many distractions here in America that with cutting those outlets, it just makes it worse. And I wish there were like programs that were funded in a way, maybe if it was like a nonprofit and they did it by just donations or something on that order, the community giving back or whatever, or where people just donate their time and have small group classes. That's a thing. Or private lessons. That's also a thing too. It doesn't have to be a big group of 24 to 30 folks or kids or none of that. Like, whatever fits best for you. I wish that could happen, especially for those who are going through adversity. I want them to also have that opportunity too, because you got talented people in that, and because of whatever situation they were brought up in, they may not have that opportunity, and they deserve that opportunity as well. Yes. Well, if there are no more comments or questions, I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. Make sure to check out all the prints and the wonderful artwork here. Again, these are for sale. And I'm NyLainah DeNee.
Is your work scattered throughout the...
That is a good question, Najee. They wanted to know if the works are scattered or if they're just like in a certain area or something.
They are throughout.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Yep. It's here for you.
I was gonna say, this is when I showed me when I saw this work, I knew we had to work with it, because this is just gorgeous work right here.
Thank you, Najee.
highly recommend you get something from this young talent.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Get something now before I blow up too big. Right? Thank y'all.